You got it. All right.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Skol experience. No guest today, just the three of us talking ball.
I'll be the special guest.
Dave's a special guest on his own show.
Well, I became a fan back in my mother's womb, and yes, I came out the purple glow about me. That was my experience.
Well, in the state of the Minnesota Vikings, we have a little bit of not very nice weather here in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. Getting a lot of snow, some howling winds. It's nice. I work from home now. I work from home for the next couple days, so I don't need to leave. That's been nice.
I saw someone driving an ice house down the wrong way of the interstate on YouTube.
Oh boy, I didn't see that, but I guess I'll have to go ahead and try to look that up. But anyway, how are we doing tonight, boys?
Doing pretty good.
Pumped up, man. I watched The Voyage.
Yeah.
Goosebump inducing.
That gets you
goosebump
pumped
inducing, man.
That gets you pumped up. It just sucks that you watch that and you're just like, man, this was such a great season, and it just had to end first round of playoffs. Because you're watching through this whole thing, man. It's going to be a great series this year. Because I can't even wait till we get to the Buffalo Bills stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously with we got The Voyage, you got Kirk Cousins, which we'll talk about probably a little bit later on here, starring in a Netflix show. That's going to be kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I know me and Jamie did a video or put out a video that right before this, to where, I mean, they had the three quarterbacks in it mic'd up for every game. They had some behind the scenes stuff. They have some stuff from, I think that probably like kind of in their personal lives as well. So it's going to be a really interesting experience to see what that's all about.
Right.
Because, and it's going to be on Netflix. Netflix is just about as polarizing as Kirk Cousins is. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. There's still content. There's always stuff to watch. And if you haven't watched The Voyage, I know it's a little bit long, like 45 minutes, but it's worth your time.
Yep.
Well worth
it. At least it's just one episode. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do like a game or two every episode or how that's going to work.
Well, how they did it was in season before.
Yeah.
And they would only do the wins.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's kind of how that rolls out.
I think it makes for better content if you do the losses too. You gotta have some adversity, man.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of it.
But we just lose in the first round of playoffs, so it's like, do you need adversity? Like if you won the Super Bowl, then you want like all of that,
I want reality TV. I want behind closed doors. I want to see Kevin O'Connell throwing things at the wall, just getting in Donatello's face. I want that type of content.
Donatello's face. Let's do some shout outs.
Like at the end, they did the preview of what's coming up, and it was the Saints double doink, and then it was TJ Hawkinson. And,
let's do some shout outs here. Purple Gang in the building. What's up, Skol Mafia? JD, hashtag Skol, already in it. I mean, I guess I might as well just do this right away. And we are giving away, just like we do on every live show and continue to do every live show, a Justin Jefferson rookie card. All you have to do is hashtag Skol in the comments. Super easy. We would also appreciate
a refractor.
Subscribe. No, this is just a normal one. Just a normal base.
And here's the thing with Jamie asking for the subscriber thing. I mean, I know it sounds kind of cheesy or what have you, but he spends his hard-earned money on these cards. So like,
hey, we got a lot of good plans with these cards. So I mean, stick around. Yeah, subscribe to our channels. Like this video, of course. But yeah, I got other cards. I got good cards. We have good plans. I want to give away something pretty nice during the draft, all that stuff. And we're going to keep ramping it up as our channel grows, all that good stuff. JD, but I wanted to talk to you because I don't know if you've seen my comment to you on our video earlier today. Is you won one of these cards last week, and I've been trying to get a hold of you. So hit us up on one of our social media so I can get your mailing address and get that sent out right away. Skol per rap, he actually won our very last one. I just sent his out. I will be on his channel tomorrow.
Was that last night?
What's that?
Was that last night?
When he won?
Monday.
That was Monday.
Or was it Monday? Oh, it was
Yeah,
Monday. Yeah.
Yep,
You didn't realize that was me, Star Wars Marvel.
I knew it was you.
Oh,
I knew
yeah,
it was you.
yeah.
You thought
Oh,
I
yeah,
was bullshitting with you. I was bullshitting.
Well,
with you.
I tried to like hashtag Skol because I didn't want to win, so I spelled it out.
Oh yeah, I saw that. But no, I'll be on Raps podcast tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Kirk Cousins.
Oh boy.
Noah, just show up and find out what we're going to say about Kirk Cousins. You might like it, you might not. We'll find out. JD again, give me that Dalvin Tomlinson keep. We're about to jump into that. Let's go Skol, bro. Let's go Rap.
You guys were stuck at 666 there for a little bit. I was like, oh
yeah, I know. And then we got up to 667, dropped back down to 666, and then we jumped back up again.
Well, I noticed I only subbed to you on one of my channels, so I quickly subbed all four, and I got you to 666. I was like, since some guy to 667, I'm like, and he fell back again. I was like, shit, these guys are gonna get cursed.
We're stuck at 666.
What's going on, Dylan? Ryan, what's up?
Man, we got some guys early.
Catch, what's going on, man? Hashtag Skol again. Anyone putting Skol in the chat, but hashtag Skol. Dave Thibodeau put hashtag Skol. Get a chance to win this Justin Jefferson rookie card. Yeah, JD, just go find us on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. I don't know if you already follow us on there, and hit me up so I can get your mailing address. I want to send that thing out tomorrow. Actually,
isn't your media in the description?
It's probably below too. Yeah, it is below too.
Yeah, it's in the description, man.
Yeah, I probably should say that more often. Buckle up. Skol Live better happen soon.
You talked to Rap about that.
Oh
yeah. Rap's ready.
Speaking of which, there he is.
Live. Yeah, when
Buckle up.
Back in a couple of weeks, he says.
All right.
Hey, let's go.
I'm here.
Go.
I'm ready.
Hashtag Skol again. Hashtag Skol's in the chat to win this Justin Jefferson rookie card.
Jamie, do you even have the drawing up?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yep. Oh. Here, let me put it. I don't have it. The screen.
I was gonna say, I haven't shown it yet. So I'm like, are you even running this right now, or are people just typing it for no reason at this point?
No, they got it. They're in. We got 6 centuries already. That's pretty solid. Let's keep it going. But anyways, yeah, let's jump into some of the stuff we got to talk about, specifically with Dalvin Tomlinson right away. Casey, I'll let you take this over here.
Yeah. So Dalvin Tomlinson, which was weird. So I had heard the news the other day that his contract was voided was that Monday that they said that? Which meant that his entire $7.5 million dead or cap hit, he would have had a $7.5 million dead cap hit in this upcoming season. But now they pushed it back to March 15th. So yeah, I'm not super well versed in all this stuff. So that's why Vikes Insider here had it for us. Right. So yeah, if they can reach a new contract, only $2.5 million of his dead cap would take place in 2023. And I am on the Dalvin Tomlinson train. Like, I would like to see him come back. I wouldn't like to see it be for super expensive, because I do like Dalvin Tomlinson. I think he is Jamie, that list of free agents we were looking at.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, he was in the top 30, right? Like,
definitely, he was like top 20. I think he might have been like at 20 or mid 20s. Let's go
something like that. But I mean, he's a big guy, solid against the run, and can get after the quarterback. He's not one of those guys you're going to sign as like a disruptor in the pass game. But you know, he had 2-3 sacks last year. He was like probably one of our better pass rushers earlier on in the season before his injury. So I would like to see Dalvin Tomlinson come back. If it's for a reasonable price.
Right. How about you, Dave? Because I just want to add this in real quick. Is obviously I like Dalvin Tomlinson. Like, if we lose him and we don't pick up anyone in free agency or anything, I think that's terrible. That leaves a massive hole on our defensive tackles, a hole that we already need to fill, in my opinion, to some extent. But that's the thing, though, is I'm hopping on this train with Payne and Hargraves quite a bit. So, you know, extending Dalvin Tomlinson makes me feel like obviously we have to do a lot of cap situation stuff to even have a chance at one of these guys, but it makes it feel quite unlikely that we're going to get a Payne or a Hargraves if we re-sign Dalvin Tomlinson. What's your thoughts on that, Dave? And what do you think about Dalvin Tomlinson getting extended? Do you think it's even worth the risk of us trying to get a guy, one of these two players? Or, you know, we just keep Dalvin Tomlinson and maybe find another guy in the draft?
Well, I had been on, videos saying that, hey, Tomlinson goes, we get a draft pick. I was under the impression that was a $7.5 million cap hit this year, but apparently it's only $2.5 million.
Right now.
Okay, it's only $2.5 million if we re-sign him.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me feel a little bit better about keeping him. But they're talking about $8 million as. So I'm like, okay, that's 3.5 plus 8, or 3. Or I heard 8.5 earlier last month. I was hearing 10. I don't know. I don't know about that. But I feel better about it if we did keep him. He is 28, so I think he's 28, so he's still got life left in him. He was our best defensive lineman,
right? For sure,
easily until he got hurt. And we missed him, that's for sure.
Yeah, we did.
It also adds the fact that I just go back to the line that says, "Are we a 3-4 or 4-3?" And the answer was, "Who we playing?" Well, he would be great in a 4-3, I think. Where someone's commanding, double team and he's on a single guy. Who are they going to double? That's a situation that I would like to see. I'm not thrilled that I feel like it's almost like we're settling early.
Right.
But if we do make this move, yes, we got to hit it big in the draft with a defense. I think
defensive
interior
tackle.
Defensive lineman
that can rush the quarterback.
And I'm thinking it's more of because he's more of like that, nose tackle type guy, and I kind of agree with what Rapp is saying here. If you bring him back, you still need a guy that can get to the quarterback better, which I think is 100% the case.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which would probably come from the draft. At this case, it would come from the draft. We're probably not finding someone better at that in free agency if we pay him.
But then you don't need to worry about finding. That's one of those things, though. If you sign a guy you already know can play the position.
Yeah.
And I know I've said it. I mean, I'm kind of contradicting myself because before I've said the whole we've seen this story before. I want a new story. I want a new movie. I've seen the whole movie before. But you have a guy in a position that you know can play well. So at least you're settled there. It's like if we can't find anybody better, we have Dalvin Tomlinson. Bring him back, So that's my thought process with it. But I also don't think it stops if you can get him for a reasonable price. I don't think it stops you from signing a Daron Payne or Hargraves. Is that the other guy? I don't think it because they're a different. That's a different position. They're not like a nose tackle. They're more of the guy, an interior defensive lineman that you're going to get pressure with. So,
which we do need that too, that 5 technique guy. What do you think that would be like? He'd be kind of put one of those guys in there. Obviously, we'd need the cap space to do it. I mean, if he is a 2.5, would it be a 2.5 cap hit?
Yes, a cap hit on top of whatever his
whatever
money for this year would be.
Right. So I don't know. I think that's the thing. I think
I'm looking to see what his cap hit was last year.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm not sure what it was. You're looking it up, Dave? Okay. See what his cap hits last year. See what what we're gonna pay him this year. I have a hard time feeling like we're gonna find a player in free agency.
It wasn't big. It was only 7,500,000. So
yeah.
So if we got it for 9.5,
because I thought they said it wasn't like it was like a 4-year deal where 2 years were actual, the last 2 years were the void years or whatever.
He's got a void in 24 and 25.
Yeah,
and the cap dead money is 2.5.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I would be in on bringing him back.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't mean the job's done. If you can find better, great. If you can find bring him back for one more season just to get that just to even out that cap hit. And that's, I think, that's a big thing too, is if we didn't re-sign Dalvin Tomlinson and we did go after a guy like Payne or Hargraves, there's always that chance we don't get any of them. Probably a good chance that they don't pick us. We don't offer as much money, and then we don't even have Dalvin Tomlinson, which I think is a very scary situation. And then you're left in a really bad spot for sure.
Yeah, super bad. Hey, what's going on, East Coast Gridiron?
What's up, man?
We'll get your thoughts in for this, since you got all that football knowledge over there. We definitely need that on the show. Rap, did you hear Lamar Jackson? So we're going. So Vikes going for Lamar Jackson?
No, no thanks. Don't want him.
For our
but that is interesting.
A fantasy hour segment.
Yeah, 15. Lamar Jackson. I mean, he'll be quarterback number 1 with the Vikes for fantasy season for sure. I like Lamar Jackson.
Aren't they talking with Lamar Jackson? It could be some sort of a sign and trade type thing. with him, right? Like to
With
where they
Lamar
could
Jackson?
franchise tag him or give him an extension, then trade him after
I feel like it'll be something like that.
or something, just so
Yeah,
like
if you
that team
franchise
isn't
the
left
guy, it
with a
doesn't
guy on a
keep you
one.
from re-signing, extending him or re-signing him.
Keep Dalvin Tomlinson, Hitman, Daniil, and Zadarius and Duke. That's a great core. I love that idea. And actually, I want to say something because Zadarius's house has went up for sale, all this stuff. So it's sounding like a lot of, I don't really know. You never know what's really
Could
going to
also
happen.
just be,
Because even
gamesmanship. So it's coming soon.
Adam
So it
Thielen's
could
house
be
went
soon.
up for sale already, right? And now it sounds like we're going to talk about him more later, but it sounds like we're probably keeping Adam Thielen around. But Zadarius Smith, man, after watching the Voyager episode, like seeing Justin Jefferson against the Packers and stuff and how supportive the rest of our team was for Justin Jefferson was super cool to watch. But specifically Zadarius Smith, man, after watching that episode, I was like, I don't want to lose this guy. Like, I don't know. His attitude and his play style for sure just brings in I don't know. I want him to stay around, but I have a feeling we don't, especially with our whole cap situation. But I think it'd be cool if we did.
Well, I think a lot could be said about the second half of the season where he just didn't get a sack. Right. He was 9.5, and then he got a half sack the rest of the year.
Right.
It has a lot to do how predictable we ended up being at the end of the year. I think it had a lot to do with that. I think he was healthy in that Giants game. I don't think he was too banged up. In the second half of the season.
Yeah.
We just think we were just super freaking predictable.
And I think it goes back to just not getting enough pressure in the interior. I think they're like, you stop Daniil Hunter, you stop 100%. Zadarius Smith, you stop their pass rush.
And I did, that video, and I had us trade, finding some way to trade him, Zadarius Smith, because I don't see why I would think he would have value. I don't know. It's a super friendly contract.
Yeah. Yeah, he has to have a lot of value, right? Yeah. I mean, still 9.5 sacks, or 10 sacks? You said 9.5. What do you
it was definitely 10, because we were like one of the few teams, if not the only team, that had 2 guys with over 10 sacks.
And his lack of production definitely came from injury, even if it became a scheme thing eventually. But if I'm like a GM looking in, it'd be like, well, if we got a healthy Zadarius Smith, look at the production he's pulling. So, I mean, if we were able to pull a trade, that'd be a lot better. But I don't know. I just feel like there's not a guy like him on our defense right now. It's from like a vocal standpoint. I really thought that was cool. I think as we watch this Voyager thing and then the Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes thing, I think you're going to see a lot of Zadarius Smith, and you're like, oh man, that's a special player right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought Patrick Peterson and Zadarius Smith were the vocal leaders when we had kind of Kendricks and Hitman weren't vocal guys. I mean, it's they'd mic up Kendricks, but he wasn't motivating his other teammates.
And Harrison Smith has never been that guy.
He's a leader by example.
Quiet. He's always
their teacher. I mean, and Hitman's a teacher out there. I think he is, and Kendricks is like, hey, squirrel. Go after the ball.
Right.
I don't think he's I don't think Kendricks makes his teammates better. And this is me coming from a guy who did a video that says put some respect on his name, because he was the 83rd best player going into the 2020 season, and he was the 70th best player in the league going into the 2021 season. And PFF ranked him as all-pro halfway through the 2021 season, had his most tackles ever in his career in 15 games. And, this year everybody wants to get rid of him. Right. So
Casey's like, yep, we all want to get rid of him. I don't know, man. I think there's a chance there's a scheme thing with Kendricks too. I like Kendricks, and if we kept him around, not like what we've been paying him.
I agree. I can't keep him around 11 million, but
right. But at a good,
it was a team that's $24 million over the cap, that 9.5 cap savings. With only 1.5 million dead, just looks too. It's one of those things that just looks too like it. It's one of those things you look at, you're like, that's so easy. It's such an easy decision, especially since he has slowed down a bit. But like, I don't know. For me, it's just
if he could get a restructure too, though.
If he turned 31,
he's restructured all the time. He's already restructured multiple times.
A
restructure means you just push cap hits out into the future, pretty much.
Pretty much for us. Yeah,
you got to approach him about a pay cut at this point.
Yeah.
I think Kendricks wasn't restructured this past year, right? Like we didn't touch him. Like we had
I know he had a couple times in the last
he had, but
seasons.
this year we didn't touch him. He was like one of the guys we would have restructured if we would have went and signed an Ndamukong Suh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. I mean, it's almost like they were holding his money in the back pocket just in case they needed to make a move.
Yeah, so, and when they let him go to the Eagles and then they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
And lost, though. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oop, wrong one.
Sorry, you do it. You
press it. All right. So
the Netflix thing, right?
Yeah, we got to bring we already talked about it a little bit, but Netflix just announced a new documentary series called Quarterback, which
Quaker Oats commercial.
What's that? Yeah, I don't
this
even.
Is a Quaker Oats commercial. I'm just kidding.
Which will follow the 2022 NFL season through the eyes of Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes, and Marcus Mariota. We were talking about this before, and they kind of miss on the Marcus Mariota thing, but they followed these guys throughout the entire season, and I think they struck gold with Kirk Cousins and Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, like,
well, yeah.
How do you just choose? But I mean, you chose a Super
Bowl winner, and then the guy won 13 games.
No, but I mean, Kirk Cousins with all the crazy comebacks and the Kirk O'Chains thing, which had to be one of the biggest like viral things of the seasons, was Kirk Cousins with the chains, right? So I think they hit gold with this. Marcus Mariota didn't become the quarterback. I'm assuming in this, it's like, hey, I get another shot at becoming a starting quarterback. I don't think it really rolled out that way for him. But
no, but I
it was a young guy, a veteran, a young guy that's MVP, a veteran, and a guy trying to make it back, right?
Right, and that's what I was thinking. I think they got kind of all three levels. They have the All-Pro superstar quarterback. They have a polarizing guy that you either love him, you hate him. He's been good enough, but he gets he's so polarizing. Even he puts out, as we saw with stats wise, puts out the production. This season they chose a good one, I guess, where he starts getting the wins and everything. And like Jamie said, went viral with the Kirk O'Chains thing. But you have a guy that's super polarizing, and then you have a guy that's literally fighting for his career, fighting for a chance to prove he can still start it. Like you have a guy who's going to start for the next 10 seasons. You have a guy, Kirk Cousins, who has started for 8 seasons, and you have a guy that's just trying to, keep his career moving. So I think they found it feels weird that Marcus Mariota's thrown in there, but I almost think he's like their underdog of this thing,
Yeah. Which
I feel like he kind of needed somebody like that in there.
Unfortunately, it doesn't end in a happy story for him.
But that makes for good television.
Literally racking my brain right now trying to figure out where he was playing this year. It was
I don't even know. He was
the Falcons.
He was Falcons.
Okay, it was the Falcons.
Ritter took over the job right at the end of the year,
and then he just quit.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to see a lot of. I think you're actually going to see a lot of more Kirk supporters from this show, just because I don't know. He's obviously a good dude. I think you're going to really like Kirk Cousins, especially
if they show his family
regular season went though. Obviously, they're going to show the last throw. They're going to show the last throw of this season, I'm sure. But besides that, I think everything else in this season it's going to be crazy to watch, man. I can't wait to rewatch the Buffalo Bills thing on this. Like, that's gotta be crazy. And then the Kirko story, you get to hear the whole Kirko story. That's why I was telling Casey, I'm like, there's this Arian Foster thing going on with him saying that the NFL is scripted. And what's your how did you get Kirk Cousins the year he's wearing chains, all that stuff? Patrick Mahomes, MVP, Super Bowl champion again, Super Bowl MVP. And then you put Marcus Mariota in there to kind of like, all right, we're not scripted. We have Marcus Mariota in there. We wouldn't just plan that.
Yeah. Arian Foster saying the NFL is scripted. So would they script all your injuries so you can never play football or what?
I think he was kidding. I don't know. You guys seen that, right? It like blew up with everybody saying this is scripted. This is scripted.
A couple years ago, the NFL.
The Kanye, yeah, pretty much.
A couple years ago, Benny Cunningham said something about it on Twitter, and then he just he put something out there about the script for it and how it's all fake, and then people kept commenting and retweeting it and all this stuff, and he never said anything about it again. So it's like, it's been a thing for a while.
Yeah. I don't think it's scripted.
It'd be too difficult.
There's a player that said he got a script. He got the script every before each game or something.
Right. These guys would have to be professional actors behind their Yeah, it's not happening that way.
Mhm.
So another tweet that I kind of went viral, right, for the Vikings Twitter: succession plan. Are the Minnesota Vikings in a similar situation to the Kansas City Chiefs and or had with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes? What's your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think
I
this is
mean,
in any way
I
a
think
similar thing?
yes, because you have like Kirk Cousins is, in my opinion, a more overall talented Alex Smith. You know, they both are kind of
Right.
seen as the same guy, the guy that's like good enough, but not going to actually get you where you want to go. I mean, obviously, Alex Smith throughout the latter half of his career had all the wins with San Francisco. When he started, Kansas City won what, 12 games with him, 3 years in a row, I think. So, yes, in that regard, that they're the veteran presence who can lead a young quarterback. Like saying that they're in the same position where they could draft the next guy and have him learn under Kirk Cousins for a season and then eventually take over him, sure.
Yeah.
But that tweet there, I think people took it the wrong way to think, oh, all you're saying is we need to find the next Mahomes. Great. I think it's a true tweet because we are in the same situation because we do have that veteran guy who's solid, who puts, can get you wins as we saw this last season, and he'd be great to groom the next quarterback behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But the part of finding the next Patrick Mahomes, it's not likely because
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is probably a once in a generation type player. But I see their point. I definitely think that they're in that spot where they can
Kirk
get a guy
Cousins.
and groom him behind
Kirk
him.
Cousins is just he's better. I would even say he's better than Alex Smith.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to get a guy that's Patrick Mahomes. So you're not going to get the perfect scenario, but I could see it potentially similar. What's your thoughts on that, Dave?
Well, I mean, the guys that are, the network that's posting this are wanting us to go up and get Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
like,
that after
well,
this
and
game.
then, I hear things like, well, yeah, I agree. We are in a similar situation.
Especially if we did pick up a young player, but
and it's because of age, not because of Cousins is playing a higher level than Alex Smith was at this point.
Yeah,
right, for sure.
Yep.
So the video I keep referring to about is my and I saw you in your guys' draft you were doing, and Jamie, you were bringing up. Well, I like the picks, putting them into 2024 and give us a chance to go up and draft that quarterback you want,
the one
which was the whole point of my video, is to get us in a situation where we could draft that guy. And
Caleb Williams.
I forget what quarterbacks I put in there. The video is like I just took a list of like the top quarterbacks that would come out in 2024 and read about them a little bit. But I know nothing
Caleb
about
Williams
him.
is by far number one, and then there's I forgot his name, a guy from North Carolina.
But there was a few, right? There was a few good guys coming out in the draft. It's not necessarily as hyped as this one, but who knows after this season,
except for Caleb
right?
Williams. Caleb Williams would probably be the number one overall pick in this draft, I think.
Well, like Caleb Williams, his college career was really weird,
but
right?
It's so good.
If
you go watch him, you're just like,
yeah, because it was him and Spencer Rattler both at Oklahoma, right?
Yeah,
where Rattler was seen as that guy,
right?
And then he got hurt or just was struggling to start the year.
He was
Caleb Williams came in and replaced him, and then they both leave after that season or something.
Right,
it was weird.
Yeah,
and we got a listener that says I don't want any part of AR Anthony Richardson. I feel like he has a crap load of talent, but when you like Mahomes here, he was like a 65% thrower and threw for 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns his last year. So this whole idea that he was a project is complete crap. He was not a project in any fathom of the being. People were, who say that, and the fact that he was going to offensive genius as a head coach, match made in heaven. But Anthony Richardson's is like 2,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, where he's super athletically gifted, is running the ball, but he has a strong arm and honestly good touch.
Right.
But I personally like Will Levis better.
And they're kind of comparing Levis to Josh Allen, right?
Yeah, they are. And the only thing I don't like about Levis is his delivery.
Right.
It's quick, but it's low.
Right. But but that's the thing. It's like with all these guys, and that's everybody, let's be honest, everybody is trying to find the next Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
Like Josh Allen was kind of seen as that. And I know with Levis, they said that's the thing. It's like he's like Josh Allen because there's a ton of raw potential there, size, speed, arm strength, and everything. But it's not perfect. Like he's got to get
this.
Like he's got to get with the right coach that can correct the fundamentals. And Anthony Richardson's another guy just like that. All the physical traits are there.
I would not.
You got to get him with the right coach who can. But that's where Anthony Richardson would actually be in a good spot here, because he could sit behind Kirk for a season or two. And
Tyler Fornes is tweets last year had us drafting every one of those quarterbacks in like the first round.
Yeah,
but which would not have worked out other than maybe Kenny Pickett, who also went mid first round.
But it's like one of those things where Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi sit down, look at this guy, and Kevin O'Connell's like, I can correct the fundamentals, and I can get him where he needs to be a starting quarterback and a star in this league.
Right.
They could do it.
And so, dude's physically talented, man. But me looking at it, this means Kirk gets extended 2 years, not one.
Right.
Because this guy is not going to be ready.
Right.
In 1 year.
14 games and 13 or 14 games.
Right.
And a 52% passing percentage.
Yeah. But the only other issue is if you do bring him in, like let's say some reason we do bring him in, with how this fan base kind of is towards Kirk Cousins, Kirk throws one incomplete pass or throws one screen, automatically it's just going to be Anthony Richardson's going to be all over Twitter. So will that affect things? I don't know. I think Kirk's at a point in his career now where, I don't think he's going to care, but maybe, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't think he will care. It would be
an interesting scenario.
I personally don't think he should care. I think and obviously you guys know my opinion about Kirk Cousins. I just don't think he's shown enough to me where you're Aaron Rodgers who should get mad if another quarterback gets picked in the first one. I get why Aaron Rodgers did, but Aaron Rodgers is a multiple MVP and a Super Bowl champion. So that's how I feel about that. I don't think we're worried about Kirk Cousins. With Anthony Richardson, I think, or is it Anthony Richardson? Richardson. I would not be mad if we thought this was our guy. I wouldn't be mad, just because it would create crazy excitement. And I'm someone, like, obviously I've been talking about, me and Rap both, like, we need to take some chances on quarterbacks. This guy is like the ultimate high risk, high reward guy. If you're a gambler, you could hit huge on this player because he has a big arm, the things you can't teach, a huge arm and athletic running ability or whatever. So it would be huge to make that happen. Well, it could be a terrible idea and maybe it wouldn't work for us, but if we did it, there's no question it'd bring tons of excitement over everybody, I think. And it would definitely bring a lot of intrigue, and I'm down for something crazy like that.
But if it crashes and burns, like of course, what's his name? Zach Wilson. Then this comment becomes and I love this comment, potential, the word that gets coaches fired, because that is
someone quoted that. This is a quote from a real person.
Yeah, because I
forget who it was.
And general managers,
Marcus
because
Russell.
and that's the thing. It's like you gotta
Marcus Russell,
and that's where it's so hard to do this job, because you need to love and feel convicted that this guy's going to be the guy.
In like the video I did about him, I was like, okay, I will feel maybe differently after the word comes out of the draft, out of the combine, of his interviews, his Wonderlic score.
Yep.
Pat Mahomes doesn't have the highest Wonderlic score, but it's, good enough. But these guys with like 15 and they don't make it. They don't make it in the NFL. So. And that's where I know Will Levis was a 4.0 student, and the Ivy League schools were recruiting him. So that's why I feel comfortable right now with Will Levis. Yeah. And his stats, or, his percent, completion percentage, all that.
Right.
Yeah. What scares me is that what if he, on top of it can't handle the books? And I just don't know yet, because no one's really reporting about his grades like they were about Will Levis and, getting recruited by Ivy League schools. So I want to see what comes out of the combine on like how he did on the chalkboard. And they go the old Gruden thing where he gets them in front, like if there was still someone who was doing that, and get him in front of the chalkboard and stuff. And only reason I say that is because of the accuracy issues, and I heard like he disappeared for a month in the college season. He had a really bad like September.
Because he was getting super hyped up, and then I don't know. I know that that 1 month is kind of the thing that's really throwing everybody off. Let me go back into this. Actually, you know what? Again, before we move on, again, giving away a Justin Jefferson rookie card. All you gotta do is hashtag Skol in the comments. Subscribe to our channels, GG Sports Podcast and Minnesota Sports Talk, and like the video, of course. We will be giving away this at the end of the show. Hashtag Skol. Anyone that hasn't done it yet, make sure to do that.
Oh, and one last point about the thing about if Kirk Cousins has a bad game, then all of a sudden everybody will want Anthony Richardson to join the field. I mean, there's going to be that crowd, but the misnomer that I would hear Judd, say and others say was like, yeah, the only reason Sean Mannion was on the team is because Kirk Cousins didn't want any competition. What has led anybody to believe? What proof does anybody have of Kirk Cousins not wanting someone underneath him that had talent to push him? I have not heard a word out of him. I haven't heard persons close with Kirk Cousins. Haven't heard any of that. It was all rumors, speculation.
Right. I agree with that. I haven't heard. I don't understand why he would think that, and I don't think I've heard anybody come out and say anything like that either. He doesn't come off like that at all to me.
Ever.
I mean, you never know what he's around close. We're about to find out on that Netflix special. Hopefully,
yeah, maybe
he's a secret dick. I don't know, but no, I don't see that from Kirk Cousins. He seems like a good guy. That's why I don't think he's gonna worry about talent, especially at 35. Like, I know you still have a lot left in the tank, but you gotta imagine like they're gonna bring someone in to kind of be that future regardless, I think.
Well, and you got to think about it. We draft a guy like this, he's not going on the practice squad. We got to hold him on the 53 the whole time. So
yeah. So I was going to put up, I wanted to say this. Oh wait, not that one. Where was it? Oh yeah, the only players that didn't vote Kirk. So I actually was supposed to put this on our slide. I actually forgot to do that. But this was from Voyager, right? Or the Voyage.
The Voyage, yeah.
The only player that didn't vote Kirk for captain was himself. What do you guys think of that? I mean, obviously that shows a lot of humbleness from Kirk Cousins. But part of me, like Kirk Cousins' personality, part of me wanted him to be like, no, I am the captain. I'm captain. I'm the leader of this group here.
I don't take much from it because I mean, yes, he does seem like that guy that's gonna be really selfless. Be like, I can't vote for myself. He's always been that way. And B, if you're the guy that didn't vote your starting quarterback to be a captain, and if news got out there like, oh, one person on this team, that's just gonna start storylines you don't want to see. Well, look what happened with what was the kid out of Michigan State after Kirk Cousins? Went to the Raiders. Something Cook, to where like he wasn't a captain. No one went. Like half the team skipped his birthday party. Like they just make stories out of nothing. With the quarterback,
the
draft. Connor
Cook. Yeah, he was like right after Kirk Cousins, right?
I think
Michigan State.
At least it was pretty close.
But
I think you're talking about the Kevin Costner movie. Because remember, nobody went to the guy's birthday party.
The draft. I mean, no. It happened. It happened with Connor. It happened with Connor.
It happened with a real person.
Yeah, it was a real thing. No one went to his birthday.
Yep, Connor Cook. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, no one went to his birthday
Connor
party.
Cook.
I mean, that does say something. It does. Well, you're not being a good leader if no one wants to go to your birthday party. Probably.
Right. Exactly. Because that's what the quarterback's supposed to be. The quarterback is the leader of the team. So.
Well, just in high school, football, the guys that were, the guys that were our captains, like the guys I really respected, they didn't vote for themselves.
Right.
Craig Libas, if you're out there listening, I know you didn't vote for yourself. He's all state football. And he does not vote for himself. So, this situation, I put a lot more weight on the fact that all of them voted for him for captain.
Right.
Because you got to believe there's, one guy that don't like you on the team, and he's not going to vote for you because he doesn't like you. And it just showed to me that, hey, people respect him and want to put him on the captain. I don't feel like this is the NFL, college, they keep that shit, they pick the captains. You may be voting for them, but they go and pick you anyways. But, I don't know. This tells you that that people respect him.
Right.
That's all I'll say. And I take the word of the team more than I'd ever take the word of Joe Schmo like me on a YouTube channel.
He definitely wouldn't think that though.
But anyway, so that does it. That does it for our Kirk Cousins segment. Every section needs to have one.
But we have to do. We'll finish it out here. I think Kirk will get extended for at least 3 more years.
Like 3 or for total of 3.
I could see. I would say 1, maybe 2.
I don't see. I personally don't want that to happen. 3 more years, unless he was to win a Super Bowl next year or something like that. Not 3 more years. I'm ready for. It's not even like I'm ready just for a new quarterback from Kirk Cousins. I want a young guy that we feel obviously that I'm asking a lot, 100%, but I want that young guy that we can kind of groom up a little bit, which I think would be fantastic behind a guy and learning from a guy like Kirk Cousins. And that's why I don't think we just worry about, especially maybe not this year, but even next year, we don't pick a guy in the 7th round. I want a legit talent that we can put behind Kirk Cousins. Because even when Kirk Cousins leaves, whoever we have in front of him, if Kirk Cousins leaves and we have just like a average quarterback for a year while he's grooming a rookie or whatever, I just don't think he's going to get as much as he will from a guy like Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a fantastic person to kind of be a leader for a rookie quarterback. And I almost think it would be great for any quarterback, even if we got Richardson, for their development to be behind a guy that is like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. But more. I'll be quick. More on top of that is like, well, we're in almost the perfect situation, because if we do accumulate picks and go after a quarterback in 24, because we will have accumulated the picks, and then we'll have first rounder, we'll have all our picks the years after that, plus the compensation picks potentially. And, we lose our coach to go to our defensive coach to go to a head coach. There's another pick. And we've accumulated these picks, and Kirk Cousins signs, for 2 years. That means Justin Jefferson hits the bulk of his contract. Mm-hmm. Kirk now leaves. Now this other player is at least sat behind him for 1 year.
Right.
And hey, we got a better situation. I think we're in a really good situation, honestly.
Yeah. And that's the only thing is we just have to. I think we have to take a chance on a quarterback. It doesn't have to be this year. But even next year, not even like a 3rd round or 7th round. I would like this year.
Oh yeah, I'm talking first. I'm talking get our guy.
Like a real go get our guy and let him sit behind Kirk for a year. Like that's what I want to see.
Well, I would not honestly, as of right now, I would not be opposed if Will Levis fell to us. I would be pretty okay with it. Yeah. And pick at 23. Fuck it, let's draft him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to fall. Some people have him going like top 5, and it's going to be weird though. Last year, there's like a lot of mock drafts. There's like 4 quarterbacks going.
Didn't you just have Anthony Richardson go 3rd in your mock or something like that?
He did in our mock draft. He went
number 2 overall. Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, okay.
Should have accumulated picks for this year, and we had pick 12. That's kind of true. David, appreciate all the comments.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, hey, we traded. Yeah. Well, think about this. There was a famous thing like the Patriots. They were complaining they traded their 1st round pick away to get that receiver. I forget, he was with the Rams. I forget his name. He was a free agent this past year. He's escaping me, but the media, social media put this was our 1st round pick. Well, TJ Hawkinson was our 2nd round pick. Mm-hmm. That's our 2nd round pick.
I'll take that.
And odds are
I'll take that.
He probably gets extended.
Yeah, I'm taking that for sure. He's literally, so we got a top 10 pick in the 1st round, top 10 pick who's in his prime, just came off probably his best season he's ever had, and we got him for a 2nd round pick.
Yeah. But Jamie, what I want to say a bit ago is, and that's the thing. It's like everyone always talks about it.
Oh, and then we got an extra pick, didn't we? We got a later pick because of we got something on top of that.
We swapped the 4th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But like when we were talking about like the quarterback thing, Jamie, and how you're like, I know it's a lot to ask for. Isn't that what every team is looking for? Like, it's crazy. Like everyone always talks about, you're never going to find this next guy. You're never going to find that next guy. But all these teams,
that's why I don't get on them.
That's the goal. Like the goal is always to find a quarterback. Like, why do you think these teams, like when teams are bad, why do you think it's like the first need is, they need a new quarterback? Because that position is just so important. So to say it's a lot to ask for, yes, but every team outside of 8 is looking for it. Look at the Colts. The Colts have recycled vets.
They literally because they found theirs.
Like the Colts have recycled vet after vet after vet for how many years? And now they're like, and now you can see from these mock drafts and what people are kind of thinking about them is like, they're just going to draft a guy this year because they're sick of the vet route.
Look at the 49ers,
all these washed up, veterans. So it's
the 49ers, they're just like, all we need is a quarterback, and they're picking. They traded like 3 picks for Trey Lance, and then they still picked one the next year. Got lucky as hell on him, but it's everybody's always trying to go for that guy, and sometimes it's hard to imagine especially if you're trying to create like a dynasty or anything like that, or at least have like a good 5 years with somebody. It's hard to do that without building around a guy that can be a legitimate franchise quarterback.
But
it happens, but you don't see it a lot.
But that's why the thing is, like, it's always like you got to find the guy. And I don't know. It's weird. It is really weird. Like,
it's going to be hard. And we've been trying to find that guy my entire life.
Look at the teams that have been. Look at the Jets. They've been trying to get a franchise quarterback since Joe Namath, and it hasn't worked out.
No,
like there's teams that, and like the Lions,
and they've picked.
Matthew Stafford was the closest thing they had to a franchise quarterback, and they never properly built around him.
Right.
And look what happened. It's just, I don't know. It's like where people say it's like you're never gonna find the next Patrick Mahomes. I agree with that, but I disagree with it because you do need to try. And as much as I've been on Kirk Cousins' side since we signed him, I'm 100% in agreement. Like, we do need to find the next guy, and you got to try. You can't just say, "Oh, we're never going to get the next Patrick Mahomes." Why even try?
And you got to give it a real try, not just picking quarterbacks in the 7th round or the 4th round and hope they end up like Tom Brady or something.
But then you can't just do what the Jets did. But then you just can't do what the Jets did 2 or 3 years ago and be like, "Oh, well, Zach Wilson's got a lot of potential." Like, they had to take him. Like, you don't want to be in that spot to where you have to take a quarterback at the 2nd pick every year, because then you never get anywhere. You're always rebuilding. So
yeah, and then they've tried on I don't know what's his name. What's the quarter? I'm losing it right now, but quarterback for the Seahawks this year, Geno Smith. Yeah, they've wasted a 1st round pick on Geno Smith. Like, they've made attempts that didn't work out.
Famously, Geno Smith
he got drafted in the 2nd
because he had to sit in the green room a whole day. Remember?
Oh, he got drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah, it had to come back the next day, and he didn't have any clothes.
Anyway, but yeah,
he showed up in a sweater.
You always got to try. Like, you do need to try, because you can't just assume you're never going to find the next guy, because then you'll actually never find the next guy.
And most of the guys come Mahomes 1st rounder, Josh Allen 1st rounder, Justin Herbert 1st rounder, Joe Burrow 1st rounder, Trevor Lawrence now 1st rounder. Most of these guys are going to come from the 1st round. You're going to hit maybe Russell Wilson or Tom Brady. You're never going to hit a Tom Brady. But
I thought there was like a stat out there that there haven't been that many Super Bowls won by like a top 3 quarterback. The top 3 pick quarterback. I thought I saw a stat about that a couple weeks back. They're like a quarterback picked in the top 3 to 5 picks has only won like 4 Super Bowls. I thought I remember seeing a stat about that somewhere
this year.
I don't know. I thought I remember seeing a stat about that.
There might be. I wasn't sure on that stat.
Yeah, it's like the major things. Recently, the only guy, first guy to ever be drafted number 1 overall, made it to the Hall of Fame, and that was like Ken Griffey.
Yeah. 1st overall. I don't know. Peyton Manning, he was 1st overall, right?
Yeah, so he's one of them. Yeah,
he's gonna be one.
Obviously,
well, now Joe Burrow
made it, didn't win one though.
No, yeah, he hasn't won one yet. And then, I mean, you got some ballers in this league right now. It's gonna be tough, but
that's like, as of right now, that 2021 draft is looking stacked. When you got Burrow, Herbert, Hurts. If Tua can, get
it's 2020 draft, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 2020 draft. Yeah. 2021 was a little rougher, right?
Yeah, but 2020, you can't find a box of cards in 2020, man.
No.
Sealed box.
We'll move on past quarterbacks. We've talked enough about the quarterback position.
All right, yeah. We always got to talk about quarterbacks here.
Right.
All right, we'll end with Adam Thielen. We mentioned him earlier. So this is at Ali Siddiqui, and he's a fan of our channel. He's a friend of this channel. Pretty big on Twitter. I think he writes for, I forget who he writes for, but he writes articles, all that stuff. Shout out to Ali. Adam Thielen is due about $20 million. The Vikings would save 6.5 if they cut him. If they can bring his cap number down to 7 or 8 million or even less, it'd be huge for both sides. So yes, if we were to cut him right now, we would lose what is that? About 13 million?
I think there's
million? Is that what that says?
I think there's something with him with a post June 1st. Yeah, if you cut him post June 1st, those numbers flip. You save 6.5 and it's dead 6.5 and you save 13.4.
And we only can pick one or two people.
I think it's 2 players you can do that with.
2 players. So that would have to be the route
candidate for that if he doesn't.
But yeah, I mean, if we were to re-sign him for 7 to 8 million, I do agree that obviously he wouldn't have to be one of those players, and it wouldn't make much of a difference. We'd lose that in dead money regardless.
And I did, how it did Kendricks and was where he was ranked by his peers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the 2021 season, he was ranked 80th by his peers as the 80th best player in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off a 14 touchdown season, mid 21. Well, before he got hurt in 2021, he had 10 touchdowns. That's 24 touchdowns in a year and a half. And now he can't play. A year later, did he hit the wall that hard? So I don't know. There might be an opportunity this guy bounce back.
Yeah, so I think it's coming down to a point where it's like I do think it was time to move. I don't know if Casey will agree with this. It is time to kind of move away from a lot of these veterans players that we've had around for years. But I'm starting to get to the point now where I'm like, I mean, if we can get them and keep them around for the right price,
right money,
yeah, with the right money. I know Casey doesn't want to see the same movie, but man, it's the same movie with less costs. It's not as bad. It doesn't seem as bad. I wouldn't mind doing.
Casey, look into his eyes and tell him you don't want him anymore.
The Voyage. I think it was the Voyage, right? So on the Voyage,
yeah,
I watched
he's in there wanting to punch 49ers, man.
Yeah,
let's go.
Thielen's one of the guys that if he'll take a pay cut, I'll keep him for sure.
He even says, though, he says in there, like, everybody calls you, he literally said this, everyone's trying to call you old, that you still don't have it anymore, and it gets you fired up. And I was like, damn, like everybody's been talking about
and
that.
And you saw some of the highlights in the practices, right? The ridiculous catches he was doing on those when they were showing the highlights, man. I don't know, man. I kind of, it was a new offense. People struggled in it.
Right.
It was conservative, it seemed. We were Kirk was only throwing for like 6.2 yards per catch, and it was not going. We were not throwing down the field at all.
Yeah,
it wasn't until like maybe the Buffalo game that we really started to throw it down the field, I think. And then I think, and honestly, Thielen was starting to pick it up until we got TJ Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, TJ Hawkinson ate into his receptions.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm not here to say Thielen hasn't lost a step. I'm watching a video of him when he was at 2019.
Yeah.
2018. Yeah. He's ridiculous.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Jamie, there's a reason, but there's a reason that TJ Hawkinson cut into his target share, because Hawk was getting open consistently.
Well, because he's 6'5".
Yeah, and he's getting open, and he's a beast. But the thing with Adam Thielen is like what Dave says, like I would keep him around, but I don't think we want him to have to be our wide receiver too. I don't think he's at that spot. Like he'd be great for a wide receiver 3. I'm not sure if he's going to want to kind of play that wide receiver 3 role.
But then he's going to be like a wide receiver 3A, 3B with Osborne, because I don't think either of them have proved they can be the legitimate number 2 option.
I still think Thielen's better than Osborne right now.
Well, with a few games left in the season, I always had the stats on any show that I was doing where I could pull him up and I would show where he was ranked, and he was like 34th in receptions, right? With a few games left in the season that I can remember. Well, there's only 32 teams.
Right.
So he is in wide receiver 2 category on most teams.
Right.
So we want something, a little more pizzazz, right? Like
we want a wide receiver 1.
Thielen 2 years ago.
We want a wide receiver 1B. Is what we want, or really high-end wide receiver.
We want 1B.
Yeah, that's what we want. So we are asking for a lot. We want a 1B, and I don't think Adam Thielen 100% was a 1A, 1B, whatever. He's not a 1A or 1B anymore. And obviously, it's a luxury at this point, I would say, but it did just feel like, man, if we just had another like a T. Higgins or something.
And I'm up to not pass on a can't miss receiver. Like
right.
We didn't need Randy Moss, but we drafted Randy Moss. So it's like,
TJ is like the wide receiver 2 right now, but he isn't. He's a tight end. So if we got a legit good wide receiver 2, that would just blow our offense open. I think we're so lucky to have a guy like TJ Hawkinson in a spot that there's only there's only 5 tight ends in this entire league that's anything like him. And I think that's really special. But I still think you need another wide, especially someone who's really fast.
He might have been, Kittle, and KC's Kelsey and him.
Yeah,
because Waller was hurt
and he fell off quite a bit. Mark Andrews. Did you say Mark Andrews?
No,
Mark Andrews would be the other one probably.
Yeah,
but I want Thielen the
Ravens.
I want Thielen the red zone monster to come back again.
Yeah, that'd be huge. Which I think he still is definitely capable of doing that.
He's still a good route runner. He still knows how to shake somebody, but it's just he's not as quick.
Most of his touchdowns this season were probably red zone.
Yeah.
So wide receiver 2 in draft or free agent. I think you got to do draft because I was watching a video today. They were talking about some of the available free agents. Obviously, Jamie and I went over them as well.
Mm-hmm.
He did his top 5, and out of the top 5, his top 3 would be the only ones I'd be interested in. With Jacoby Myers being 1, Alan Lazard being 2, and DJ Chark being number 3.
And those aren't wide receiver ones, right?
I wouldn't mind Lazard because he's big.
I'd be happy with Jacoby Myers personally.
And I'm on team.
I don't know enough about Jacoby Myers.
I think Jacoby Myers could come in and be a legitimate wide receiver 2 in this offense. He put up 2 straight 800-yard seasons, including this last year. He missed a couple games, and he was in there with the offense led by an old special teams coach and an old defensive coordinator. So I'm a big Jacoby Myers guy.
Yeah, I like Chark. I mean, I think he has 1,000-yard season on his resume.
Oh, I like Chark. Yeah, Chark, and he's 20. He's like 26 years old.
Yeah, he's young. He's someone that I just feel like kind of has untapped potential because of the Jaguars and his quarterback situation. He didn't do a lot for the Lions, but it's kind of like reminds me of Allen Robinson, who also played for the Jaguars, was really good, and then just didn't get that media attention, and then would go on to Chicago and have some good years there. I just think there's a lot of talent there that we're not going to have to pay as much money for. That's what I think with DJ Chark. That's a reason why I like him. But do I think he's going to come in and be what we want for a wide receiver too? I don't know.
Or maybe a trade. Diggs, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe Diggs wants to come back.
Dude, I wish, man. Just imagine if it would have been impossible because
after Josh Allen proves he can't win. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, officially. That's what the Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins talks. That shit's about to start.
Well, I mean, Buffalo. If he forced himself out of another situation because of whatever, but what do we got here?
So cold.
We definitely need a draft wide receiver, but if not, we need DJ Chark in free agency. Thielen can be wide receiver 3. We need to get the relevant and good tag.
Throw some love to Jalen Naylor.
Yeah, Jalen Naylor as well. For
that is definitely a huge possibility, and he has the speed.
Love him.
Obviously, it's hard to he was a 5th round receiver. Not obviously he could be that guy.
He was 6 because Ty Chandler. No, yeah, 6 because Ty Chandler was 5th.
And Naylor could be that guy. I mean, our guy could be on our roster. Osborne, no one was really looking at him as a wide receiver, and he popped up. But that's the thing is he's so you just don't know yet. So if our coaches and everything, they might see something in Naylor and let him kind of have that extra step. That seems to happen quite often where there's just like a player that our coaches probably really like and see the potential, and us fans and content creators have no idea.
I wonder with him if it's more of just trying to teach him a proper route tree because he's fast and he can catch the ball. We know that.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the thing. People are like, well, he's maybe he doesn't know the routes, but when he got in there and he scored that touchdown, and the safety was the starter. So everybody said he was like, oh, it was against the backups. No, that safety who missed him was a starter. And then the next time he got the ball, he double moved a guy, and it was great. A great move, got another first down. I think the guy I'm really high on him.
He's actually the 2nd overall. I've said this before. He's the 2nd overall rated wide receiver on PFF right now. So that's obviously small of a sample size.
He did not look bad at all.
Yeah,
when he was on the field at any point.
He has the 2nd highest PFF grade in the NFL for wide receiver. So there is that chance too. I mean, it could be on our roster, and that would be awesome if it did actually work out for us. I do want to say, Lemmy Smith, I think you made a lot of good points here. We definitely need to draft a wide receiver, but if not, we need DJ Chark in free agency. I'd be totally cool if that's the scenario that rolled out. If we didn't draft a wide receiver, Thielen can be wide receiver 3. I don't know if he for sure would be accepted to that. Maybe he would. I think that would be a pretty good move if we could. And then I think you made great points. We need to get a relevant or a relevant interior O-line, and we need a good tackle.
Relevant, I think.
We good at the tackle. I thought you meant D tackle. So I think we really do need D tackles. But yeah, our tackle positions, man, we've been dreaming about the tackles that we have right now.
Dude,
so that's nice to
the
cross
2
that one off
positions.
the list.
I'm almost like, hey, save our money, keep the receivers we got currently, spend all our money on a center and a nose tackle. Boom.
Dude,
no money. Don't spend money, draft. Don't spend money.
Yeah, dude,
draft John Michael Schmitz. Get the
or
gopher,
whatever.
Get the gopher here.
Whatever. Spend all of our freaking energy on getting center and nose tackle in any way you possibly can.
See, I'm on board with doing whatever you can to do that in free agency, and then we can go into the draft without those 2 positions, without worrying about them. They're crossed off the list, and we can go and worry about the wide receiver, cornerbacks. Well, cornerback, people would probably say cornerbacks.
That would be cool. Receiver. That's your thing, is like, let's get the grunts, let's get the hog mollies in the free agency, go spend some money on some flashiness, and go spend our picks on some flashiness. So.
And then fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that the 2022 draft class does something.
I saw you guys not pull the trigger on Schmitz, man. Like trade up to go get Schmitz.
Yeah.
We almost did, but I let it go too far.
I'm not on team. I'm saying I don't want an offensive lineman. I don't really even. I want to, like, I understand.
That was gonna be your second pick. You're gonna try to trade up to get him in the second round. But you didn't.
Yeah.
Pause.
I don't think we kept. Did we say something about it?
Yes.
About trading up, and we're like, nah, we won't do it.
I think I let it run too far before I paused.
You let it run. Let me see if we get him down here a little bit.
That's what happened.
I was gonna try to get him in the 60s, and he didn't make it to the 60s.
He didn't make it. He was in the 50s.
Yeah, we messed up there. See, this is why we're not the Vikings GM.
Mm-hmm.
But we're working on it someday, maybe.
Yeah, right.
You know what I like to do on it is do one where, hey, we're gearing towards getting a quarterback for 2024. This is how we're gonna do it, and we'll be trading down like motherfuckers.
Dude, that's what I do. Trade down, trade for all the picks for
2024,
and then trade up and get Caleb Williams. That's what I want. That's what I would not. If we traded out of the, not like last year. I wish last year we would have just, like, who said it earlier? I wish we would have traded back with the Lions and got one of their first round picks. We got the Rams first round pick. That makes so much sense, because why wouldn't they give it up? They just won the Super Bowl, and then obviously, like, that pick's not even as valuable as it should. And then this year the Rams sucked, and we'd be looking.
I saw a mock trade from I think it was actually from PFF today about the Lions trading their pick from the Rams and one other pick to get T. Higgins from Cincinnati.
I would take T. Higgins.
Quite the divisional shit. I would take T. Higgins too. T. Higgins is so good, but he's going to be a wide receiver 1 easily elsewhere.
Right. If I'm him,
to this guy's point, the reason why this is proof that PFF sucks. Well, I mean, I take it with a grain of salt. You get a limited window on a guy, and those few plays he played great. You're not comparing him to JJ. I mean, but it does show you that, hey, Naylor looked good when he was in there, but there's not
limited
enough
opportunities.
It's limited opportunities. He just made the most of it.
Right, exactly.
You're not gonna, when you go rank guys, it's like, okay, people will had 50 or more snaps, or 100 more snaps, or 200 more snaps.
It's way harder to
okay, Jalen Naylor had 10 snaps.
Right.
He's got a higher,
In those 10 snaps, he played that way. Obviously, if he plays that way for an entire year, it wasn't going to look like that.
Yeah.
So no one's thinking he's better than JJ. He took advantage of limited playing time, and that does show a lot, even by the PFF grade. The top 5 picks from last year could be starters next year.
I think with proper coaching, that's very, very possible.
Yeah. I did want to say this. Wait for the Caleb Williams talk till after this upcoming season. He's a little sus. East Coast, what is your opinion on him being sus? I like, based off all I know from him so far is I've only really watched like highlights and film stuff from him, which he definitely passes the eye test in a crazy way, because he looks like He looks like he runs like kind of like Trey Lance to me, but he does like Mahomes type of like running to the right and then throwing across his body in midair type of throws, and it just looks amazing to me.
But I mean, and maybe just the way that his time ended in Oklahoma might be what's a little sus about him.
Well,
but
he left and followed his coach from Oklahoma. His coach from Oklahoma went to USC, so he went and followed him there.
Yeah, that could very well be. And then I was gonna
have Dante back on the show, man.
Then I was gonna
bring Dante up on the show.
Dude, we should actually. That's East Coast Gridiron. That's Dante.
Yeah, Dante.
Dude, you should, like, when we go through some of our draft stuff, man. If you have,
we're booking you again, Dante.
Yeah, I brought him on. Insights on that, man. Let's talk about it, dude. Because I want to learn. We're getting into that spot where we're starting to dive into these players, and it would be sweet to have someone who probably looks into it a lot more than we do to give us.
Yeah, he went to the Senior Bowl.
Exactly. If you're going to, that's dedication right there, man. And that's what we need.
But I was gonna say, I'm like, oh yeah, with Caleb Williams, maybe the reason people don't like him is because when have you ever seen a quarterback not make it at one college and go to a different one and play well and then
make it to the Super Bowl like Jalen
Hurts and Joe Burrow? So I was wrong, and I'm a huge Joe Burrow guy. So the fact that I almost said that legitimately and forgot about it makes me feel pretty dumb.
I was already high on Joe Burrow, but now I'm like, fucking, he's got like a halo.
Joey B,
he's got that swag to him. I don't know. There's that.
Joey B is kind of my Joey B is kind of a man crush. Are there any guards, centers, DTs worth in free agency to make a big difference? Guards and centers, not too sure, but defensive tackles, Payne and Hargreaves, one of those two would be.
I think this is a good draft for centers.
Linemen.
I think there's like a 3 or 4 deep center class.
Yeah. Which you can get in the third round, probably. We could probably get a pretty good center in the third round this year, which I'd definitely be down.
Very inconsistent arm strength is weird sometimes. I mean,
it's like Jalen Hurts on that Hail Mary through 25 yards.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff.
I can't wait to dive more into this draft stuff, though. We just did our first mock draft, so that's like the beginning of it. But I can't wait till we dive into each position and actually have a fair.
My school has Radler as quarterback, so changing schools not as bad as it used to be. Oh, you a South Carolina guy? All right, Gamecocks. All right, Midas Stain has nothing to do with him transferring, but he's gimmicky. He's going from a good defensive conference to the worst, and losing twice to a good defense in Utah does not help his cause with me. Especially they got like the doors blown off against Utah in their bowl game, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was the conference title game, right? Where like had they won, USC probably would have been a top 4 team in going into the tournament, and I believe they got the doors blown off by Utah.
And then Utah got smacked by
ECG. Dante, tell me what you think about Will Levis.
Yeah, what's with Will Levis? Who's your quarterback this year, East Coast? And he says, for sure, hit me up anytime, dude. We're for sure going to, because we're going to dive deep into this draft stuff probably somewhat shortly here. Yeah, Utah exposed them. He's still a young player, though, with that kind of talent that he has. Obviously,
he's still got a season to go. He's still got one more season.
Right. We'll see how this season goes. This is his prove it season, I think, for sure.
This is Bryce Young is number 1, and it's not even close.
You worry about his size or whatever that everybody's worried about? I don't look into that stuff as much as a lot of people want to.
By the way,
but I know that's the reason why he's kind of dropping a little bit in some people's minds.
Utah won 44-7 in the conference title game over USC. So that was the
ouch.
Or 47-23. They were down 17-3. Utah ripped off 44-7 run to win the title. So it was 47-23. They beat USC. So yeah. Bryce Young is one. It's not close. That's fair. See, with me, like, because I know everyone's talking about CJ Stroud and all the raw potential. I know people say scout the player, not the helmet. I'm kind of scouting the helmet here.
Yeah,
I feel like Ohio State quarterbacks never end up really doing anything in the pros.
Justin Fields made some progress, but obviously you shouldn't be judging a team because it doesn't make any logical sense. But somehow,
because I'm pretty sure Ohio State doesn't really run a pro style offense, right? Or do they? I could be wrong. But I feel like that's kind of the thing with those guys is they're not in that, like, it's kind of more of an RPO type offense to where which I guess is becoming more pro style. But anyway,
I think I watched his
don't...
first game of the year, and it was terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think he started off the season pretty slow, but he picked it up near the end.
Yeah, because I think he was coming into the season looking at it's like potentially the #1 overall pick. It's definitely between him and Bryce Young, but Bryce Young at the end of the season for sure.
Is a Georgia guy, so it doesn't count.
Justin Fields, Georgia guy. That doesn't count for me. CJ Sharp.
Okay. I mean, and
I think with Justin Fields, like I was like, you need to have this guy run the ball, and so they switched their offense to not completely switched it, but they switched it to where they gave him opportunities to run the ball at first. Otherwise they were just terrible, right? The Bears were just terrible without him running the ball. So
yeah, and
I think that's one of those things as a young player you can use that as a crutch, but you need to be developing your passing ability the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But who knows what's going to happen with him.
Cool. Anyway, should we run that giveaway?
Yeah, let's do it. Going over a little over an hour here.
Make sure you hashtag Skol. Everybody.
Yeah, again, hashtag Skol in the comments to win a Justin Jefferson rookie card. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, all that good stuff. I'll give you guys 9:14 or 9:14 Central Time. Literally a minute, less than a minute now. Hashtag Skol.
And while we sit there,
oh, actually, Skol. What's the full name? Skol TYA Catch 84. I don't know if it worked for you or not, but I'm gonna put one in there for you. So, if mine GG Sports Podcast gets picked, then Skol TYA Catch 84 wins it because his hashtags aren't working in here.
Yeah, and while we wait, and while Jamie gives the last minute thing here, and he talked about subscribing, I did want to mention that at least for GG Sports Podcast, 78% of our viewers aren't subscribed. So make sure if you're not, you hit that subscribe button, and be nice.
And of course,
I'm subscribed 400%.
He is true.
AKA he's subscribed 4 times.
I subscribe my other channels. You got to try to build those up best you can. But
Skol, I got you, man. If our channel GG Sports Podcast wins this,
absolutely hit the like button.
Yeah, let's go. If our account wins, you get the card. So we'll do that. And then JD, again, I don't know if you've already reached out to us on one of the social medias or whatever, but do that so I can, because you already won a card that needs to be delivered to your house. So I'm going to go ahead and do that soon.
Let me make an announcement. Next week, we're working on getting Micro Mike from Chat Sports, the Detroit, the 30,000 subscribers or more, I think he has. And so we're trying to get him on our next show. And he says, he wants to come on. It's just, I got to work out the time for him.
We can both gush over the Lions, huh?
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to be a closet Lions fan.
We're going to try to get people, other commentators or other, social media guys to, say what they think about their team and how they feel about the rest of the division. So try to get a Bears guy, try to get a Lions guy. I don't know if I can get a Packers guy, but I will.
If it was what's his name, I'd do it. The biggest one.
Tom Grossi.
Yeah.
If we could get him someday, we can reach out to that.
We could reach out to that. Our very first guest that we had on here
was a Packer.
Fan. Was it Jake Johnson? Was that his name? We could reach out to him.
Yeah. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a Packers guy.
Let's do the Bears and the Lions first.
I do got a Packers guy. Bring him on.
Let's wait until we find out that Jordan Love isn't that. Aaron Rodgers doesn't go back, and Jordan Love isn't that guy, and then we'll be like, all right, you guys can pop on now.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I have a Packers guy. I call him the random Packers guy that I scraped off the street. I forgot.
Hey,
I have a Packers guy.
Ours was kind of a random guy too.
Yeah. I'm a big fan, even though Tom Grossi's a Packer fan.
He makes a lot of good content that's non-Packers related,
and his content is just really good. And I think
he has like 100,000 followers.
I want to say he has like 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, something crazy.
It's a shitload.
Yeah, so obviously, if he wants, if you're listening to this right now,
yeah, right.
You're allowed to come on our show. Anyways, let's run this.
Tim, we'll make some room for you.
Yeah, we'll make some room. There's one corner next to Dave down there. I guess you can be on there. All right, let's run this thing.
Next to Dave. On the kids' table.
I'm sorry, you're a Packer fan. You're not going up next to me. I don't care how many followers, subscribers you have. All right, let's run this thing. 13 entries. Let's go. Boom. Justin Jefferson rookie card goes to.
How'd I get in there?
Because I don't know why it's doing that now. Ryan 1 2 3 4.
Hey, that's a new winner. That's a new winner.
Let's
I think.
go. Ryan, are you there? We'll have to see. You have to be present to win this because
oh boy.
Because I don't want to keep going around
man.
And looking, or it's hard to reach people sometimes. So you have to be present to win this one. We'll give
I mean, Jamie, technically you didn't say that before we started.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, but he's not on
Jamie's
here.
Bullshit.
Well, either way, all right. So if Ryan, how about this? I'm gonna run another one regardless. And if Ryan hits us up and goes back and watches this video, you go find us. I will give you your Justin Jefferson rookie card. So
we're going double dipping tonight.
Yeah, we're double dipping. And then if Ryan hits me up, he can have the other one. So let's go again. I'm sure some people might have left because we already did one, but we're doing it again.
If you're only here because of the giveaways,
I still appreciate you. Boom.
Oh, almost won.
JD.
JD's in the house.
Back to back, JD. You're getting 2 cards. You just have to make sure you hit us up.
Absolutely.
Double dip. What? Yeah, you get that double dip, man. Lemmy, you just missed it. All right, one more.
Jeez, you're generous tonight, man.
I know. It's fun, man. It's for the people. You guys are in here watching us. We appreciate it big time.
He's an everyman. Jamie's an everyman.
It's fun, man. It's fun having people win some stuff.
You
guys are watching this whole time. You're talking to us, communicating with us. I feel like it's a fair thing.
For every giveaway Jamie does on a stream, though, you need to find that many people and have them subscribe.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So
I still gotta get Nikki right now. I still gotta get Nikki Covington or Bobblehead because it got sent back to me.
Get someone new. Come on. Minnesota Sports Talk. He doesn't count. You don't count, right?
But you know what that does? But you know who that does mean?
What?
I believe that'll be Skol TYA Catch 84 because
I technically said my account. I did say my account, bro.
I'd give it to him because it only.
All right, we're giving it to him. I think he deserves one. Anyways, Skol, you've been in here at least for a few weeks now. All of our live shows, appreciate it big time. Skol TYA Catch 84. We are giving you. Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Rigged. We're going to get you another one, Justin. By the way, go follow Justin while you're at it. Purple and Gold for Days, Minnesota Vikings podcast. Skol, TY, you're in here. I know I'm going to see you again. So if you're in here, go hit us up on Twitter or look in our description to see how to do that. But otherwise, we'll see you in the next show, and I'll make sure to get you that card. JD, you have 2 coming, so make sure you for sure hit me up so I can get those out tomorrow. All that good stuff. Let's go.
Other than that, though,
encore.
Yeah. Other than that, though, thanks everybody for joining. Appreciate it. Appreciate the viewership. Exciting off season ahead of us. So
there you are.
I don't like the script.
I love that.
3rd time's a charm.
Sarah, you're on this. You're on the script soon, I promise.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Perfect.
DM us.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it big time.
Good content. Hey, appreciate it, man.
If you're on right now and you're not subscribed to my channel,
that is
appreciate it. Minnesota Sports Talk.
I've mentioned Minnesota Sports Talk a couple times, but let's do it again. Minnesota Sports Talk. Go and subscribe to his channel as well. We do this show together. We're in on all this stuff together. Yeah, we appreciate all the
lot of draft content ahead of us.
Yep, and everyone in here likes to talk about it, so that's perfect for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but all right, let's. I'll let you end this thing, Casey.
See ya.
Skol Vikes, everybody.
All right, later.